Hello and welcome. I'm Rob Arciero. This is Jason Conaway, and
I can say my name. All right. Yeah. I'm Jason Conaway.
all right,
Nice to see you guys.
it's my friend Jason, and we decided to start our own little podcast here. So mostly we'll talk about sports.
Mostly. Yeah.
Mostly,
A little bit.
I'd say 99% of the time.
A little bit of politics.
We might,
Maybe. We'll see.
You never know. We'll bring some guests on. Some of the guys.
Yeah. So we got a lot of
Maybe.
sports guys.
Maybe someone likes it. We get a celebrity on
Yeah.
here.
Maybe.
Very C-list celebrity.
Maybe.
We'll
Yeah,
see what happens, but we've gone with a name.
We got the Statue of Liberty Bell podcast. He's from New York. I'm from the Philadelphia area. So we got, two sides of the spectrum, two fandoms, a couple city, different takes on the sports world. It's gonna be a little subjective to our teams, I guess, but we'll try and, give our thoughts. Talk a little bit of hockey, a little bit of baseball today. But
Yeah.
So where are we starting?
We'll start you off today with some hockey, but yeah, going off the New York Philly thing now. Obviously, we'll get some homers from us, but we're gonna go. We're gonna go way more in than just New York and Philly.
Yeah,
But very funny after that statement. We'll start with hockey.
Yeah.
We'll lead with your Philadelphia Flyers. All right.
Red hot.
Yeah, they are
Red hot.
They are the 8th team in the playoffs. So how you feeling about that?
I'm feeling great. Going into yesterday, I think we were at. We needed either Detroit to lose to your Rangers, or we needed Boston to lose the Senators, which I did not see happening.
Mm-hmm.
They got up 1-0 early, and I was like, here it goes. And then, it was, I think, Rangers tied with the Red Wings yesterday, 1-1.
They were 1-1.
Yeah, so Boston had the lead 1-0. Rangers were 1-1. I was looking towards the Rangers. Next thing I know, hit refresh on my phone, 4-1 Senators. You still have that feeling.
Who knows?
They're going to blow it.
Yeah.
I texted our friend John, also a big Flyers fan, said Senators are blowing. He told me, don't need that negativity. Kept watching.
Would not doubt it.
6-1 Senators. So Boston, I think Claude Julien's got to be out. In Boston, you can't.
I mean, that is a joke.
You can't blow that.
How are you in a do or die? And we'll go back to your Flyers. We watched that game together, the Flyers playing the Senators. That was one of the worst hockey games I've seen all year.
Horrendous.
The Senators they don't care.
It was
when you're not in, it's hard to go out and play your game, but they literally looked like they didn't care. The fact you're on your home ice, if you win, you have a very good chance of making the playoffs, and you lose. They pulled their goalie with 9 minutes left out of desperation. That's why they lost 6-1. But you lose by 5 goals at home to the Senators?
It was unbelievable. So
Crazy.
we were talking last Saturday, we saw the Senators play the Flyers. I had a lot of concerns after that game because it basically looked like the Flyers matched the Senators and just total not giving a shit. Basically tapping the puck around for 60 minutes. They ended up winning, but I still had a lot of concerns. Next day we lose 6-2 to the Pens. Thought, you know what, here it goes.
Yeah, that was it looked like it was going on the tumbling of a Philadelphia sports team.
And then Wednesday,
they got it together.
Wednesday we had the Red Wings lose to the Red Wings.
Red Wings, yeah.
Thursday, down 3-1 to the Leafs.
Yeah.
You need a point there because you got to get 5 points in these last 3 games to clinch, provided no one else does you a favor like both teams did on Saturday. So you're looking at that. I think less than a minute left. Wayne Simmons ties it up. Make it 3-3. We end up losing in overtime. We still got that point. So heading in, we got on Saturday, like we said, we need a Wings loss or a Bruins loss.
You got both.
And a Flyers win. Yeah, we got both. Handed both.
Everything ideally happened.
Everything falls into place. You got no Crosby, no Letang playing in Pittsburgh. All right, perfect storm for a loss. So we get down 1-0 early, and all right, it's over. Whatever, maybe we'll win.
Yeah, I thought it was hysterical on Thursday losing. When I checked the score, just down to the Maple Leafs at home. That's another funny one.
Typical Flyers
to be losing that game, but
typical Flyers. But Voracek has virtually disappeared.
Yeah.
He missed 10 games this year, and he made one of the best passes I've seen a Flyer make all year. So you have Giroux kind of like tap it over, get back on side, set the whole play up, and Voracek just cuts right up the side, beats his man to the edge and just throws it right in the center. Wayne Simmons crashes the net, ties it up. So then we head into the second. I think maybe 3 minutes left in the second. You got Ghost kind of at the point, wheeling and dealing, just rips one. Simmons comes across, deflects it in 2-1. And from there,
hey,
Flyers had it.
You know what?
Beat the Penguins. I know no Crosby, but
this team's about
killed.
Yeah, no, this Flyers team is about. Disagree. Stop me when you think I'm wrong, but I'd say they're about 2 years away from where you guys are looking at them, where those prospects are there. And you know what? you don't the talent's there, but the full potential of this Flyers team, I think, is coming in 2 years with all the prospects.
Yeah,
so the fact that they're in the playoffs this year, as a Flyers fan, I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. This was looked at as a rebuilding year, even though we've had the same team for a while. The same core of players, but the prospects you're bringing up to take you to that next level. You got Sam Hag, everybody down, all the defensive prospects down, still in the minors. So they're coming up, 2 years, we'll have them all up. But really, you're looking at 3 or 4 years where you're really reaching your full potential with those guys. You're really reaching the complete team status of being like a championship contender. So to have this team, Ghost really drove it, the way.
Philadelphia's golden boy right now.
He's been an absolute phenom, the fan favorite.
Yeah.
So he really, kind of got the team together a little bit, made that push, but still way ahead of schedule.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make a couple other shout-outs besides Ghost. Wayne Simmons is here.
Yeah.
32 goals, but really just his attitude has driven the team. I was actually just reading an article, and we were watching this game. I think we were watching this game at the bar, but they were up 2-0 in Columbus a couple weeks ago with maybe 2 minutes left, and they blew the 2-2 lead. They lost in overtime, but the big mistake in that game was the Flyers on a power play up 2-0. And Simmons ices the puck out of his defensive zone. So they're in a defensive zone face-off now. Columbus scores. They end up coming back, and Simmons, he said, I gotta bust my ass the rest of the year, and he really has. Yesterday, the 2 goals that decided the game. So he's really been the leader. But one thing I will say, I'm so glad Luke Schenn is not a part of this team for 2 reasons. One, the whole city. Yeah. Hated Luke Schenn. He's brutal.
Not good. He's not good.
Brutal player. Just a brutal player to watch.
Not very good.
But his little brother, since he left, has been as valuable as Drew. He's 26 goals this year, I think 30-some assists. Good year, but a lot of that
over
production
50 points from him,
a lot of that production has come, since his brother left, and the physicality that he's brought, recently. Schenn's, bring Schenn. He looks like a child out there. He's just a baby. The way he talks, he looks like he's 6 years old. So he gets his, gets his ass kicked a lot in games, but recently he's just been very physical. Same with Michael Roth. They brought a little more physicality to the ice, giving a lot more forward depth beyond, Drew, Voracek, Simmons. And I think, Ghost is the obvious pick of what drove this run, but I would say Braden Schenn, Wayne Simmons, and then guys like Michael Raffle, Sean Couturier, doing what they've done is kind of, made a playoff team. There's no, Drew hasn't been that great this year. I think he's maybe under 70 points for the first time in a few years. Besides,
There's a lot, the way I see this Flyers team, just because since I've been in Philly, I've got to watch them a lot more. It's definitely a team. I know you guys love Drew, I know you guys love Voracek, but like you just said, I know you got yelled at this for a while ago. Wayne Simmons is your leader. Yeah. When I watch Flyers games, he's your leader. Yeah. And I know it's a very, very unpopular opinion.
Yeah, my opinion.
But go ahead.
I will shout out another Philly site. I used to write for them, Life of a Philly Fan. They're a big Twitter account run by my friend Jack Fritz. But I wrote an article for that, and I said Claude Giroux. The headline was Claude Giroux should not be the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers, or something along those lines. And Life of a Philly Fan, they were losing followers. Whoever runs this account should lose. And it wasn't a criticism of Giroux at all. That wasn't what I was getting at. My point was that Wayne Simmons is really the heart and soul of his team. He's
you can
see
it. You can
vocally,
see it
he's really the guy that grinds out in front. He's vocal on the bench. They scored that empty netter to ice the game. Bellemare had it, and Simmons, he whips his stick right into the camera. Yeah. He's so fired up. He's got a big smile. He's cursing into his jersey. He is. Drew's a leader. He's a captain. That's a fair captain, but I just wouldn't say that he is the best choice. He is probably the Flyers' best player, and will be for long. But I will not say that he's the best choice for captain. My vote would be Wayne Simmons.
I'm with you. But now looking ahead, Flyers are in the playoffs. So are 15 other teams that we're looking at. Everyone's sealed so far now. No Canadian teams in the playoffs this year.
That's interesting.
Very interesting dynamic. Because there's a couple that I thought were going to be my dark horse this year that came nowhere near the playoffs this year. But now looking at the bracket now, you guys get the Capitals in the first round.
They've had a year. Some guys over there.
My Rangers, who I am frightened for, in a series against either team. Right now, we're just watching the Flyers Islanders 2-2 at the end of the first.
We're at the end of the first right now.
Islanders win.
We'll see when they pick back up. I'll give you some updates for this. But
Islanders win. Rangers get the Panthers. Islanders lose. Rangers get the Penguins.
Yeah, Penguins are.
We'll get to them in a little bit, but I mean, it's either that. Then we'll get back to them later because I'm gonna have some things to say about that. But then Tampa Bay, Detroit.
No Stammer.
Dallas, Minnesota. St. Louis, Chicago. One of my favorite series in the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
And then,
Those two
depending on the results of the only other undecided one, Kings and Ducks are either going to play the Predators or the Sharks. Depends if the Ducks win tonight. Ducks will play the Predators. If the Ducks lose tonight, they'll play the Sharks.
Right.
And the same thing for the Kings.
Right.
So let's go through some of these series now. We'll get the Flyers over with just because we're in the swing of it.
All right.
Caps, Flyers.
4-game Philadelphia Flyers team. No, I'm kidding. I'm looking at. You got to look at it.
The Caps?
They're, you just look. That Sam Bradford gift of him looking through. Just looking through the playbook and just shaking his head. That's kind of the way you look at the Caps depth chart as a Flyers fan.
Yeah.
But the Caps, the Flyers hung with them. I don't know the exact record. I think we've got to play. I mean, we beat them once or twice this year, maybe. But we played them tough every time. And I think the way they were watching these games yesterday, they definitely would have rather seen the Boston Bruins the way the Bruins were playing with the Flyers were trying to I think they would have beaten the Bruins. I think they're going to beat the Flyers.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a lot more of a series with the Flyers. I think the Flyers could take 2 games from them. I really do.
Yeah, as a Flyers fan, I respect you saying that.
Yeah.
The thing with the Caps with me is I love playing the Caps in the playoffs.
Right.
Down 3-1 last year again.
Yeah.
Ovi's just never done it. I think it's Caps in 5.
Yeah.
They're just
there's no.
This year has looked a little different than other years with them. 120 points, pending 122 points.
The most you can get is 164. So really, you get 120.
It's a little stupid what they're doing this year.
So there's no.
They have looked special.
The Flyers snuck in. They're not where they are now.
No.
So, but I mean,
you're there though.
They hang with them. They typically hang with them. Flyers will give them games.
Absolutely.
It'll probably go. I'll say Caps in 6, and I'm favoring the Flyers a little.
Yeah.
I think they could win 2 games, and maybe they will. You never know what's going to happen. The hockey playoffs are nothing like the NBA playoffs, and we've said this before. But the NBA, you see, there's maybe 3 or 4 teams that can realistically win the title. That's why I think maybe it was like 10 years ago at this point. But the Warriors, when they had Baron Davis and they were playing the Mavs, and that was that was the last time an 8 seed beat a 1 seed, and that was unbelievable.
That's crazy.
That happened, but now. Typically, the Warriors are going to sweep 5 games, maybe whoever they play. The Cavs, realistically, they're playing the Pacers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Bulls, I think, are still technically in it, but I think they're like 2.5 games, 3 games left or something. So.
And that series ends Wednesday, so.
Yeah, but
that season ends Wednesday.
But yeah, focusing on hockey, the 8 seed can. The Kings won the cup, 4 years ago as an 8 seed. So the 8 seed can give the 1 seed a run, and I think the Flyers, they'll get a couple. Because I like to see Ghost in the playoffs here. That's what I'm most excited about. Because not only has he been scoring a ton of goals, his goals were meaningful. I think his first 15 gave the Flyers a lead or decided a lead change, maybe tied it up. So he scores, the big goals. I'm excited to see him. Even watching him in the first period of that Islanders game, he just pushes the pace and where he is. So I think he's going to have a big series. But, the Caps just 1 through 4.
It's it's playoff hockey. Anything can happen, but the Caps are.
I don't have a great feeling about this for the Flyers. I'm excited to watch. I'm excited, see that matchup. But I will say, I think the Caps will probably take first 2 at home. Flyers will come back and snag game 3, maybe.
Yeah.
Caps probably come back game 4, and then
back to Washington.
Washington's up 3-1 at home. Maybe maybe the Flyers
That's
come back.
That's usually a good thing for them.
Yeah, exactly. Last year it didn't work out for them, but maybe they sleep a little.
Yeah.
Thinking they have the series at hand, we go on the road, get 1, and then they come back, jamming in game 6, and I think they beat us in game 6 in our building.
Now moving down to the next matchup. Hottest team in hockey, no argument. Pains me to say it. With
that dreaded
Pittsburgh out their second best player.
Yeah.
Through this whole streak.
No Gino.
Who knows if that'll hurt him when he comes back, if it won't. But you're either going to see the Pittsburgh Penguins taking on the New York Islanders, if they could get a point tonight or 2 points.
Yeah.
Or my New York Rangers.
Yeah. So you want my prediction first?
Yeah, I'll let you rumble first. Go ahead.
All right. So I think if the Islanders complete this W,
yeah,
I think they're losing 6 games to the Penguins. I think if the Rangers play the Penguins, it pains me to say it. You know, it's a tough series for me to watch in general. I don't like either team, but I think the Pens will get them in 7. But I think the Rangers, last year, they took care of the Penguins. It's different teams are red hot. The Rangers aren't playing their best hockey as of late.
They're not at all.
But I think, they'll pull it together a little bit. I think they could take them to 7, but I think, that's the Penguins series either way, regardless of what New York team they play. I got to go with the Penguins. They're just playing too well right now.
This is the thing that I see with the Penguins. What was the streak? How many did they win in a row? 9, 10?
Something around there.
9, 10, I believe it was. Sidney Crosby is looking like Sidney Crosby again.
Yeah.
As much as he could go get hit by a bus. But Sidney Crosby is the best player in hockey besides Alexander Ovechkin again. He's looking like he used to look. He's making guys... The thing with these guys, too, is like he's making Hornquist look like an all-star. Like it's crazy what he does.
He's, big, fast, and he makes guys better.
But, like we just said about the Caps, they have choked.
Yeah, they have.
Very badly. And Fleury in the playoffs is like a deer in headlights.
Yeah.
Of late.
Well, that's the thing. They don't have,
And
they don't have Fleury. He's out, he's day-to-day with a concussion, but no one ever knows day-to-day. Day-to-day can be 30 days, and then...
especially with the way concussions are now.
Braden Shen went across and took out, Murray.
I'll say this, the Flyers, that's one thing the Flyers are great at, taking out players.
Yeah,
absolutely. They do it all the time.
Yeah, got rid of McDavid.
Fantastic, yeah.
I'm kidding.
But...
Taking him out on purpose, but...
As far as you know. But, biasly, the thing that really pains me is watching Dan Boyle and Mark Stahl continue to play hockey.
Yeah.
I love Mark Stahl. He's done great things for the Rangers, but these guys, Dan Girardi too. Dan Girardi has just...
Because that used to be kind of a...
Like, McDonough Girardi used to be told as the best player.
Besides, Keith and Seabrook.
But watching them play, like, it's like watching a senior league hockey, like defenders. And now McDonough broke his hand.
Right.
He's not going to play the first game, they're saying. And that's like Armageddon, McDonough missing a game in the playoffs, especially.
With all those guys struggling.
But if McDonough misses that game, that's almost a guaranteed loss in the first game in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And that's the thing that really hurts me in this series, is where I can't really give a true prediction. Because I do think it's going 7. I definitely think the series is going 7. The Penguins have a bad taste in their mouth. Rangers beat them last year. That's another thing with the Rangers. When you go to the Eastern Conference Finals in the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row, you're pissing some teams off because you're beating them in the playoffs the year before.
And that could be,
excuse me,
but that could be an issue. Part of the issue with Girardi, he's not that young a guy, and he's playing.
Exactly.
Hockey's not like basketball.
No.
To play that many games, you're playing 100 games a year, back-to-back years. That's going to wear. Because he really didn't have. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't hear much negative about him. Early on in the year, and it's just kind of as it's going on.
I think the reason that you haven't heard negative things about Dan Girardi, and I think that's why you really haven't heard much about the New York defense, is because of the names.
Right.
The names are so prestige. They're very high quality names. Mm-hmm. You're not throwing a random name, and when you have a random name guy, he's going to get criticized way more than a Dan Girardi or Mark Stahl is going to get criticized. But watching these guys play, if you watch the Rangers play, it's like sickening.
Yeah.
Some of the plays I've seen Dan Girardi make this year are sickening.
Well, yeah, we were watching that one game where...
I knew you were going to bring it up.
Yeah, that's really, probably the last game I watched, to be honest, where he pretty much centered one for Ovi. He literally gave him a goal. He gave him coming right around the net, threw it right down in front of the net, and Ovi just tapped it in.
You can tell, like, he's panicking. Yeah. He's just like, he's like in a panic when he plays now, but...
That's not true. I couldn't score that goal. But...
never know. Get a stick on a puck.
I can't ice skate, so...
If you were standing there, you stumble in front of the net.
Just kind of fall into one. You never know.
But my problem with that series is, if they play the Islanders, I think they're going to beat the Islanders. Not enough experience. But if they get the Rangers...
Something I meant to bring up to you today. I was watching SportsCenter. They have Rick DiPietro on, which is fine, whatever.
That's a funny guy.
But they were talking Islanders poised for a cup run. They did maybe a minute and a half of hockey coverage, and they were talking about, are the Islanders the dark horse for the cup? I don't see that at all. They're out there. I'm watching them right now. They're losing. There's no Giroux, no Simmons, no Steve Mason.
I mean,
nobody's playing for that. I mean, I don't know that they necessarily
they
want
have
to
a
win that
couple
game.
guys down, but like still, yeah,
but
that's
they don't,
And obviously, DiPietro is going to give you that answer, but whatever.
But it was like a headline.
But yeah, I can't see them.
Yeah.
I don't see
hockey coverage.
Yeah,
Throwing them out. Step it up.
I'll attest to that as well, but I can't see the Islanders beating the Panthers or the Penguins. But back to, we'll go with if the Rangers get the Penguins. The problem that I have is you're going to Pittsburgh for Game 7. It's not like you're going back to the Garden where they've been relying on that for the past 2 years. You go back to the Garden in a Game 7, you're...
Yeah, Flyers can attest.
Besides that,
going to the Garden.
It's just not fun.
I mean,
Game 7 is not fun. But
the Bolts were, just red hot last year.
Yeah, I think the Rangers. I think the Rangers will get through the first round against the Penguins.
You do? Okay.
I do. I think they'll win in 7. I just think Lundqvist. It's like Ovi. Yeah. It's just been too long. You gotta just do. And their window's closing.
Yeah.
Their window's closing, and I think it's just it's now or never. Kreider's coming on. That's the only positive, that Kreider has looked phenomenal. Yeah. He's looking like the Chris Kreider that you thought you were going to get.
Every time I've seen the Rangers, I think JT Miller scored. So
JT Miller, yeah. Only reason they were.
There's some different guys carrying them, and part of the problem for them is one of their best players, one of their top skaters is playing for the Penguins now. So the top guys of the last 2 years run.
Yeah.
And he wasn't great on the Ducks, but I was watching him yesterday. Every time he gets the puck and hits the blue line, he's gone.
To hear,
a huge problem.
When I have to hear Doc
Hagelin,
and OT make the call in Game 7, Hagelin comes up the wing and buries it and scores, and Hagelin beats the Rangers in the series. That's gonna hurt. Yeah. But they're just experience alone. I think Penguins are a young team. Panthers, want to talk about experience, besides Yager, the whole team's like 12 years old.
Yeah.
I just think.
Yeah,
I think experience will trump in either of those series, and I think.
And that's the thing, like going to Miami and you're not watching the Heat play, like no one gives a flying fuck about the Panthers in Miami. So it's not.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's not going to be loud there. I mean, it's a playoff hockey. Like, they're going to pump the crowd up, and there'll be some big enthusiasm, but it won't just be that consistent.
Right now.
There's no fear about that.
I'll go back to last year to one of the sickest losses of watching in my life, than having to make a 2-hour drive to just Delaware, somewhere in Delaware. But in that series, the Lightning made a rule to keep Ranger fans out of the arena. They had to make a rule. If the Rangers play the Panthers, they're going to have 7 home games or however many games it takes to win that series.
Exactly.
They better make a rule now.
And the Lightning, they've been successful franchise recently.
Yeah.
They have a fan
The Ranger fans will absolutely swarm that arena. I promise you.
Yeah, we've seen that rule, when the Phillies were making their big run. The Nats would make a rule to keep the Phillies fans out. If you have to do that,
that's kind of sad.
You're in trouble,
That's a little sad.
Like, there shouldn't be a campaign to take back our ballpark, take back our arena. Like, it's your arena.
Crazy.
And, I mean, that's New York going to Tampa, New York going to Miami, and they're still going to
crazy.
At least half and half.
But yeah, I'm very confident against the Panthers. I'm praying the Islanders.
Yeah. What's Yager?
Call
63?
Yeah.
64 now? Yeah.
That's the only thing that scares me is that crazy bastard.
He'll do something, but I don't think he's going to take a team. And they've had a good year, and they got a lot of talent. But
very impressive year. No one saw it.
In a 7, exactly. No one knows. No one knows anything about the Panthers. People say they do. But
you'll hear a guy's name. Yeah. You'll hear Huberdeau had a good year.
Oh,
yeah, I know him.
Everyone
he's good.
Yeah, that's what you'll hear that. The diehard hockey fans.
Yeah.
The Ryan Langtons of the world, he was telling me about the Panthers. He works for the Flyers this year, so he'll know a little bit about Panthers. But, in a playoff series with no experience, it's tough.
It's very tough.
It's a hard thing to beat the Rangers. Whether they're completely depleted or not, they still have.
You beat Henrik Lundqvist if you beat Lundqvist in a playoff series, you deserve it. Mm-hmm. But moving over to that other Florida team now, I know you're a big fan of them. The Lightning are going to get the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, starting off on this series, I'm going to go with my dark horse right now. I think the Red Wings have a
Yeah.
very good shot at making a run for the Cup.
Yeah.
Especially, you love these special stories once it goes. All of a sudden, the Red Wings are in a clinch, and Datsuk decides to announce he's going to retire.
That's the
You know they're playing for him now.
the Peyton Manning syndrome.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, let's get Manning back in there.
It's funny how he realized that now that he's done.
Yeah.
But
that's one of those things. But they kind of stumbled in a little bit.
Yeah, they absolutely did stumble in. No doubt about it, but they're Detroit Red Wings. They make the playoffs every freaking year.
Yeah.
I had no doubt that they would make it this year.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before it really became apparent that we were chasing the Bruins more so than the Red Wings.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, we're in a little bit of trouble here because I said, to my buddy John, I said, I'm 21 years old.
Yeah.
I think there's 7 Red Wings who weren't born the last time the Red Wings didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So really, I think the Flyers are going to outdo the Red Wings this year. Was kind of a long shot. So I'm not surprised that the Flyers got in, but I would have been shocked if the Red Wings didn't get in. So it kind of worked out that way.
And losing,
but
yeah,
the Tampa Bay Lightning do not have Steven Stamkos for the series of a blood clot. So
that's a big.
We're talking about the best players in hockey, Crosby, Ovechkin.
Big loss.
Throw Stamkos right in there.
Speaking of Rangers fans traveling, the second team, if not right with them, with traveling fans, is the Red Wings.
Yeah, there's Town USA.
No, another rule might have to come into effect because they're going to take over that stadium for sure.
This is a rematch of the first round last year.
Yeah.
And my trendy bracket pick was the Lightning going to the Cup last year. And I've heard a lot of shit about them not beating the Red Wings in 7 games. Or they beat the Red Wings 7 games. But I heard a lot about them not beating the Red Wings, and the reason I picked them is because I thought they beat the Canadiens because they beat the Canadiens 5 times last year, and I didn't want to pick the Rangers, so I had them beating the Canadiens, beating the Rangers, but I was scared of the Red Wings. That went 7 games. It looked like the Red Wings were in that.
That was their hardest series besides the Rangers.
Out of this, the Red Wings. That looks good.
I think it's Red Wings in 5, to be honest.
I was gonna say
one thing scares me about the Red Wings. Very questionable goaltending.
Yeah.
They don't have a goalie.
Yeah, Jimmy Howard shut us down. But
he's been playing well. I think Jimmy's going to be the guy that they're going to go to.
Yeah.
But last year you thought it was that way too, when Mrazek started.
Yeah, Mrazek started out the season. This season, he became the goalie. He's been the goalie. I've heard him,
He was their guy this year.
As like one of the top goalies in the year this year. But Jimmy Howard's, you got to go with the hot hand. He's a veteran. That could be a problem for him. Ben Bishop.
Yeah.
Could cause some problems.
Yeah.
They got that line too. I mean, the Lightning, they're a good team. They're a very deep team. They went to the Cup last year, but without Stamkos, that's a tough order for them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'll say Red Wings in 6.
Okay.
Maybe 7.
Okay.
I think that's gonna be
just think
series.
the Stamkos loss is huge.
Yeah, but if the Lightning had Stamkos, I might be saying Lightning in 6. So,
it's a different. It's a different
swing. It's really a complete swing.
I agree.
But I'm gonna say I'll stick with Red Wings in 6.
Okay. All right. Moving to the West Coast. Who were the best team in hockey for most of the year this year, besides the Capitals, on the West Coast, obviously? Dallas Stars.
Yeah, they got the production for the 2 players that they have is
taking on
unbelievable. We'll see in a bit.
The Minnesota Wild in the first round.
Wow, like 87 points this year.
They snuck in.
Yeah, they did. They really.
Because the bottom of the West.
They took advantage of like a rare time where the West
bottom of the West was garbage this year. Usually, very, very bad.
Usually the East is kind of top heavy, which I guess they are with the Caps, but they're a lot deeper.
But the Caps are rare.
Yeah.
I mean, to make the playoffs, you needed 92.
Yeah. So they're 93 mostly. But yeah.
I think this series is going to be
the East, but the West, the Wild got lucky. Got 87 points to get in there.
Yep. I think this is Dallas. The only thing with the Wild is the Wild sucked to start the year off. Sucked. Yeah. Fired their coach.
Fire a coach. It's incredible what happened to your teams.
Sucked.
Jam, as Peter.
They fired their coach, though.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
starting to click.
They clicked.
Right.
And Zach Parise in a playoff series does scare me a little bit. That team's a good team, a good defensive team. I love Matt Dumba, one of my favorite players. But
Rocket.
Jamie Benn is just...
What do you have?
The loss of Sagan's tough, but like Jamie Benn just still. That team is nonstop, just all year. I think
when they have those two players, like the production you get from those two players,
it's crazy.
It's absolutely astounding. You almost have
And that's the only reason they slowed down is because Sagan got hurt.
Sagan, but
I think that's Dallas in 6, like easy.
Yeah, right.
Not easy. Like Minnesota will grab maybe one on the road and one at home, but I don't know. I can't see just the way they played this year. That team looked pretty special.
Yeah,
to me.
I was gonna say Dallas in 5 because I don't like to pick sweeps, but I think Dallas had a great year and Minnesota. Yeah, they're better than 87 points. I think with the way they played.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe they're closer to the Flyers 94-point level on the 8 seed on the other side, but I don't think that's a series for them.
No, I don't think so either
this year at all.
Yeah, we don't even need to spend time on that scene. Moving on. St. Louis, Chicago. One of the best playoff series.
Every year, it's great.
Every single year. But the one problem is St. Louis cannot seem to get over the hump of beating the Chicago Blackhawks. Every single year. More points again this year.
Yeah,
they're going to have home ice this year.
It's almost a reverse of the big rivalry in baseball between those two cities, Cubs, Cardinals.
Yeah.
The Cardinals, they top the Cubs consistently, but I think I don't see it again. I hate to say it. I think the Blues are better, but I think the Blackhawks will get them in 7. I really do.
I'll disagree with you on this one. I think this is the year.
All right.
I think Laterra is one of the most underrated players in hockey. Vladimir Tarasenko, can't say enough about him. I just think that defense this year, the Blackhawks are a lot younger team than they usually are this year. Panarin, Teravainen, just a lot of young guys that had a lot of production for him.
Absolutely.
But Jonathan Taves, Patty Kane, hard to bet against them. It's like the Brady effect of betting against the Blackhawks in the playoffs. But
Patrick Kane looked fantastic this year. He's
had a little bit of a mishap before the year started, and everyone forgot about that real fast.
You know, you score enough goals.
Real fast.
No one cares. You know? No one. Not to shit on Kobe, but you win a couple championships. People forget. It's just whether those allegations are true or not. He's still scoring.
We'll never find out.
Points.
Yeah.
It's not.
But I think St. Louis in 7. I think it's going to be a fantastic series. 3 or 4 overtime games.
Yeah.
I just think.
I love the talent matchup there.
Only thing that scares me, and that's I think the defense from St. Louis is what's going to change this series. I think their defense, one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah.
Only thing that scares me is goaltending once again. But because Crawford is not the best goalie, he's a very middle of the pack goalie in the regular season.
Yeah, but he's
once it's playoff time, just another Blackhawk trend where he turns it on. So, but I will take St. Louis. I'm going to take St. Louis in 7 in that one.
My thought on that is, we're both picking them in 7. St. Louis gets to a 7th game against Chicago. They're a little bit it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's here we go again. But the only thing is, it's not in Chicago this year.
Yeah.
It's in St. Louis this year. It's in St. Louis, which another big thing.
Another thought there is, all right, Blackhawks get the first goal against real teams in St. Louis.
Yeah,
in a game
absolutely. You'll hear crickets there.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Blackhawks because I don't like betting against them in playoff series in general.
It's hard. It's very hard to bet against them.
All right. What do we have next?
LA Kings.
Our first disagreement was on that series. I think we went. What did you get?
Well, you picked the Penguins.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's fair.
Philly guy picking a Pittsburgh team, but whatever.
You know what?
LA Kings or the Anaheim Ducks. You're either going to get Kings Predators, which it's looking like Anaheim playing the Caps tonight, but they're both, I think, sitting everyone. Yeah. So you don't really know.
Yeah,
but we'll go
puck around for a little, and then we'll see.
Or Anaheim Sharks. Now, let's just talk about these teams. Starting with the Anaheim Ducks. Want to talk about a shit start?
Yeah.
When coming into this year, a lot of people were like, "This is the team. This is their year. They're gonna run through the West. They're going right to the Cup." All of a sudden, whoa! They're in last place.
Yeah.
And guess whose fault that was?
Yeah.
Carl Hagelin.
I know, he was playing.
Devastated when he went there. Thought he was going to turn that team into a
Yeah,
world beaters.
They're already. They were a cup team last year. They lost them.
Yeah.
They look great.
World beaters, I thought they were going to be with Hagelin. They get rid of Hagelin, send him to Pittsburgh. All of a sudden, they're the Ducks again. And now Pittsburgh turned. Pittsburgh was not great either. They get Hagelin, and they turned it on.
Interesting.
So it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Very weird. But
it's interesting.
I think they're a very good team. I think we'll just go with that. Depending on who they play, because that's the next thing we'll get into. If they play the Predators, I think they'll win. Win in 6, probably 5 or 6.
Yeah.
If they get the Sharks, they're not beating the Sharks. I don't think the Kings or the Ducks are beating the Sharks.
All right.
I love this Sharks team.
Yeah, Sharks look good.
One thing the Sharks did, where I remember reading the update on my phone, Joe Thornton gets captain ripped off his chest.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that was
whoa.
It's could be seen
whoa.
as disrespectful.
Yeah.
To have.
Whoa, he's the reason this team is what it is.
Yeah.
Why they're so successful. But Coach saw something.
Yeah.
And it turned this team around.
So, the Shark Tank, that's one of the weirdest things in sports to me, because we talk about hockey fan bases and we'll look at places like Florida.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. You know, the Kings fans, they care now.
Yeah.
Because they've been good. But Shark Tank, I don't know what it is about
the care.
Yeah, they know, but they'll be on board. But I don't know what it is about that little valley.
Crazy.
That made them fall in love with hockey.
Yeah.
But that place is
rocks.
Yeah, that's a great franchise.
But they score.
Yeah.
They score at will.
The Kings, that's kind of their arch rival.
Another team.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be a very. I think either series is going 7 with the Sharks, but I just really think the Sharks.
But let me make a point about the Ducks. I said preseason pick. My preseason pick for the Cup was the Anaheim Ducks against the Montreal Canadiens. And it started out probably the first 20, 25 games, and I was just looking like, wow, all right, well, one of my teams is still alive, the Canadiens. They looked great. And then just Carey Price goes down, and then literally, I haven't seen a free fall like that in a while. Like, unbelievable how far downhill they went that fast, to the point that they weren't even considered in the playoffs, like the remaining 5 to 10 games.
Oh, man.
But the Ducks, they looked like shit with that, and we just said it, but since they got rid of them, one of the best teams in the West. They got one of our favorite players, Corey fucking Perry. The guy he irritates literally everybody and scores.
The guy that's that talented and that is that irritating is just it's a hockey player.
Yeah, he's an annoying guy. He's not a likable guy at all, and that's why he's a likable hockey player.
I'm a big fan.
I think if it was, if it's Ducks Predators, I'm saying Ducks in 5.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about the Predators.
If it's Ducks Sharks, I'm saying Ducks in 7.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard for me to see the Ducks scare me more than the Kings too against the Sharks. I don't know why. I have a feeling about the Sharks team this year.
Go with your gut. I'm not knocking it. They've had a great year.
Just another team that never gets it done either.
Yeah.
It's the first one and out every year.
Yeah.
But this year, I think things are going to change.
Coach.
So now that we've been through that, I'm guessing you're going to want to go with a different Stanley Cup prediction than having the Canadiens.
Yeah, it's not looking like the Canadiens
that
year.
That was not the best.
It's not looking like the Canadiens year at all.
No.
On account of they're not in it. So.
But honestly, it wasn't even really. I didn't really. This is off the dome right now, but.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on giving my prediction.
No, we're gonna do it. Oh, you're gonna throw me under the bus right now. All right.
Go for it. You brought it up, so I thought you had something.
In the West, I like St. Louis. I think St. Louis is getting there.
Yeah.
I just think they're a complete team this year. I think they're finally gonna figure it out. The thing is too, if they get by, the hardest series is gonna be Chicago.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about before, the Lightning last year in the 7-game series with the Red Wings.
Right.
If they get by Chicago, they're like, woo!
You got over that.
All right, finally, we could beat anyone now. So,
I wouldn't disagree with that. If they get over Chicago, I'll say look out. But, But I'm saying.
That's the thing. That's the scary thing. But I'm going to stay with that. Stick with my gut. I think St. Louis will be there. And in the East, it just pains me that in my head I don't think the Rangers are going, but in the same thing, I still want to pick them.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But
I don't see it.
Depending on what side of the bracket they're on, too. If they get the Penguins and they get past the Penguins, then they have to play the Caps in the second round.
Yeah,
that's a lot of beating down because they're going to have to go through the hottest team in hockey. Probably go 7. I mean, the Rangers go 7 every year, no matter what team caliber. Yeah, they just go 7 for some reason.
7 against the Flyers 2 years ago.
But it just
when I thought that team was
does not make sense.
Yeah.
But if they have to take on the Penguins, I think they'll get by the Penguins, but they're not. It's just going to be too much. I'm going to go with the Red Wings. You know what? Screw it.
All right.
I'm going to go with the Red Wings.
Wait, so you do have the Penguins?
No, I have the Rangers.
Okay.
Yeah, I have them losing to the Rangers. I'll say this. If the Rangers play the Panthers in the first round, Rangers are going to the Cup.
All right.
If the Rangers play the...
It's the big Islanders game for you.
If the Rangers play... let's get a score update.
Bad news for you. Flyers are up 3-2 at the end of the second period.
Good. Glad that the Flyers put their AHL team in and they're still beating the Islanders.
Yeah.
It's kind of clear because the Islanders lost last night to Buffalo.
Yeah.
So you can tell both teams don't want any part of the Penguins.
Yeah.
But if the Flyers hold on and the Rangers get the Penguins in the first round.
Michael Raffle scored. Michael Raffle might bury the playoff position for the Rangers.
Good for Raffle.
Everyone had to check.
Good for Raffle. But
the Flyers meaningless game, whatever.
If the Rangers get the Penguins in the first round, I think they'll get by Pittsburgh, but then I just think they're going to be too beat down to get past the Capitals again. And the Capitals want to rip their heads off from last year.
Yeah.
But that's, I'm going to go St. Louis versus pending Rangers or Red Wings. Red Wings are my dark horse. I think that's who they'll be riding for their boy.
All right.
Who you got?
Well, on the east side, I'm going to go with the team that scored 120 points.
Very safe prediction.
I'm going to go with the sound pick. I think they'll get through the Flyers. It pains me to say it. I do think Philly. I think we'll give them a run.
Okay.
But that's a loaded team. You know, even when you watch, like, we played them in a shootout, and I was just like, oh, who's up next? Kuznetsov, Oshie, Ovechkin, and Backstrom haven't even stepped on the ice yet. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
And then they got, the Justin Williams, Mike Richards type guys. And Holtby's gonna set. If he wins tonight, I don't think he's starting. But he tied the wins record for goalie.
Yeah.
For goals
unreal this year.
Wins, yeah. So they have the goaltending, the defense.
The thing with him though is too just on Holtby. Insane year this year. Best goalie in hockey, like by far.
Yeah, he's one of my least favorite.
But he's so. Oh, I hate him. I hate his guts. I hate the way he looks.
It's rare to hate a goalie too.
I don't even like the way he looks.
Ray Emery just went down.
But when he's hot, which is more of the time, that was great. That was fantastic. But when he's hot, obviously he's the best goalie in hockey. But when he's off, that's what also scares me. He is like...
We'll see that, not to bring this back to the Flyers, we'll see that with Steve Mason. Every once in a while, he'll make a series of saves that are just unbelievable, and then he'll let...
just a trickler.
Man. So... Yeah, Holtby, I do see, he's streaky, but this year he's put a really complete year together. I think the whole team has. And, like, with the Rangers down a little bit, the Pens scare me, but I'm not going to pick the Pens. The Pens are the one team that would scare me, going up against them. But, you don't know what they're goaltending.
Yeah.
And maybe they peaked a little early. Where the Caps really haven't peaked, besides just the entire season. So... I'm going to go chalk on the East. I know that's, a boring pick, but I do think...
Not that boring because it's very likely.
I do think that's their year. This is their year to get there. They get over the hump. Like you're talking about the Blues. The Blues, I don't hate that pick of them going to the Cup because if they do get past the Blackhawks, I wouldn't hate them getting to the Cup. But I'm going with the team that lost, the team I just mentioned, a bit of dark horse, the red hot Anaheim Ducks.
You sticking with your Ducks. All right, I like that. I respect the sticking with the preseason.
Like the Ducks Caps, so stick with them. Can't pick the Canadians.
Wouldn't be great for viewers, but
it's we got fun. The hockey fans will watch it. It's not the Kings and Rangers, so it's not that easy to market. It's not.
So
Rangers Blackhawks that would have drawn some fans last year, but
except they ripped my heart out.
Except it didn't. So But yeah, I got Caps Ducks. We'll wait on predictions. Well, whatever, because there's probably not going to be whatever. Who do you think would win in your series?
My series,
who's hoisting the cup? Whatever. Pre-playoff cup predictions. Who's winning it?
I got the Blues. I'm sticking with the Blues.
All right.
I'm high on the Blues. I think the Blues are your Stanley Cup champions this year.
All right.
Tarasenko's raising the cup this year.
I'll stick out west too. We're still
All right, we're good. It's
I thought
in a weaker Western Conference.
Yeah.
They're still hoisting the cup this
yeah,
year.
the Ducks will get it.
All right, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Why not?
Yeah,
It's boring. I don't worry what if you
I don't
bored with
think
our
it's
predictions. You know,
Blues and Ducks.
No. For me to pick the Caps. Would be boring. I don't want to, bore everybody. Well, they won the President's Cup.
Yeah.
That rarely happens.
Mm-hmm.
Rarely
Playoff
you see
hockey.
teams score 120 points either. But
Yeah. It's playoff hockey. I didn't think it happened.
whatever.
That's our hockey.
All right. Want to talk some
Now.
baseball?
Swinging over to baseball.
Baseball.
Sorry.
By the way, did you see? I don't know how much you watch SNL. Did you see Keenan Thompson imitate David Ortiz?
I'm sure it was fantastic.
He nailed it. Keenan Thompson is one of my favorite SNL cast members, and they had him on Weekend Update, and they're just like, oh, they had him as Big Papi, and he was talking about baseball, and the guy asked, Colin Jost asked him, what are you going to miss most about opening day? And just, lunch. He just fucking nailed it. Just talking baseball. You like football or basketball, but too fun and fast? Watch the baseball. You hit it with a stick, you run a little bit. Yeah, he nailed it. Keenan Thompson. I should give him a little shout out. One of my
He was
favorite
just
SNL
at
cast
Temple.
members. Yeah, he was. He was just at Temple University.
He won the battle with Keenan and Kel for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good
He
for
makes
him.
me laugh
Yeah,
every
that
time
is-
he's out
I'm
there.
gonna have to
and
check that out.
He nailed Ortiz's.
I am definitely gonna have to check
Check
that out.
out Big Papi impression.
He is
Like
funny.
Keenan
Yeah.
Thompson. But anyway, let's talk some
MLB.
baseball.
Opening week. First thing
Interesting.
that we need to talk about. What a story.
Quite
Quite
a story.
Quite the story.
Bang my head on the wall if I see that Twitter reply again. But they keep
'Cause-
tweeting about him because he keeps hitting home runs. It's unbelievable.
Because you can't hit his 7th home run today as a rookie.
Insane. Not just a
Trevor-
rookie. In his first 7, like you get a
Yeah,
rookie,
no.
You
This
get
is
a rookie qualification if you get caught up.
no. Yeah, this is his first
week He's
week
hit
of
7
playing
home
in the
runs.
MLB.
Yeah.
He has 7 home runs.
That's always baffling to me when there's a first time for anything in baseball. We've been playing it since. I mean, Lincoln was alive just a little bit before they started playing professional baseball, so it's really baffling that that'd be the first time
But
for
yeah,
anything to happen. But
7 home
that's
runs.
got to be a little mind blowing for him too.
Like seriously, it's surreal. He's batting .333.
When you think about shortstops there too,
It's a shortstop.
They got rid of Tulo. They have Jose Reyes. So you think of where he was thinking he was before they got rid of Tulo last year. And then they're bringing Jose Reyes. Like, I still got tons of years, 3 years before I even get my shot. And then Reyes, I think.
And not even like.
And for him to do this, like he's
Getting like the updates on my phone for it too. Just Trevor Story hits 2 home runs. Trevor Story now has 4 home runs. Just getting text. Trevor Story just hit another home run. Ha. And in my head, first of all, I didn't know he was a shortstop.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know if anyone knew anything about the kid. I'm not.
Trevor's a shortstop.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's a big
But I'm waiting to see this monstrous human being.
Yeah.
And the guy is literally looks like a shortstop.
Yeah.
He just looks like a 6 foot, just regular build.
He's a boring guy.
Yeah, Trevor Story.
I was watching his interview yesterday about it, and he just bored me to tears.
Yeah.
He called like, I'm just trying to have fun with it. You know, take it day to day.
Yeah, he's just so humble.
It was just fucking baseball cliche after baseball cliche, and it just bored me to tears. But the guy's hit 7 home runs in the first week. I can't stress, like, that is insane. Like, what he must be feeling like. So it's going to be hard for him because, he's not going to hit 250 home runs this year. So eventually, it's all downhill from here this year. So it'll be interesting to see how he keeps himself.
Unless he does.
Till he does.
That's going to be a fun phone call to your dad every night. Hey, Dad. What's up? How's the game today? Hit another home run.
I'm sure his dad's watching, but...
Maybe.
Might
be busy.
Yeah, he might be. Got other kids, Trev. But...
Is it a fluke?
I mean, it's got to be. He said 7 home runs in a week.
But I'm saying just Trevor's Story in himself, not the home run hitting. Is Trevor's Story a fluke? Is he going to be a guy that you're talking about for the next 6-7 years?
They would certainly hope so, because you put him with Nolan Arenado on that side.
Oh, yeah.
That's something.
That's
a force we reckoned with.
DJ LeMahieu was an all-star last year. That's a serious infield.
They got something going there. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. That's the thing. I don't know.
It's week 1, too.
The first time I heard his name was that
it's not even like it's a month in. If he was a month in and had 7 home runs, I'd be like, This kid's serious.
He had 2 bombs off Greinke his first day.
Yeah.
And I saw a Twitter update, or no, it was literally just, I think SportsCenter tweeted, oh, this kid hit 2 home runs off Greinke. Trevor Story, and then the Water Story, and then next day homers, and next day homers. And then on Friday, I think he had 1 home run. I was like, oh my God, Trevor Story homered again. And then our friend wrote in our group chat again, Story homered again. I thought he just didn't read my message and was just saying it again. And he actually hit 2 home runs.
He homered again.
It's baffling. But
good for him.
Is it a fluke?
I don't know. You can't
time
really
will tell.
judge it
I'm not gonna
yet.
call him, I would lean towards no, that he's probably just a pretty good baseball player.
It's hard to call it a fluke.
Yeah, but it's...
He's hit 7 home runs in
like
what?
I'll say, we'll see, when he's the week he hits 089. And then how he comes out, because we always talk about baseball.
His 2 hits might be 2 home runs.
Yeah, mentally it's a tough sport.
80% mental.
Yeah, so we'll see where he goes, but clearly the physical talent is there. 7 home runs in a week.
Unbelievable.
First week.
Another rookie, though, on the Houston Astros, just another guy to that insanely young, talented team.
Yeah.
Tyler White. Want to talk about another boring guy.
First time I really heard his name was, I think you mentioned to me
2
days ago? I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Maybe even today. I don't really remember the first time I heard his name.
Just Tyler White. He's batting .556.
Just coming out swinging.
3 home runs, 9 ribbies.
Yeah, so add him to the list
of guys you got to look out for. 556 is...
I think the Astros have like 9 of the 10 guys you got to look out for, so it's... That's a team.
That team is...
They really turn that fast.
It's 162 game season, so it's not really... I understand it's a little bit of a slow start, but that team, man. Just that lineup. Yeah. That lineup is frightening.
Yeah, they got some guys.
Correa might be in an MVP race this year. Correa, Springer, Gaddis, Colby Rasmus all of a sudden.
Altuve.
Resurrected. Jose Altuve.
The 5'4".
Dallas Keuchel.
I'm not actually
off a Cy Young winner.
Yeah.
Like this team is
everybody.
Carlos Gomez.
They got
they're just in position.
My Phillies sent him Kenny Giles, and he's not even a closer. He's the 8th inning guy. Gregerson beat him out. So they got a bullpen.
Speaking of your boy Kenny Giles, just gave up a 3-run home run in the opening series to Marcus Harris to lose Game 3. Just reminded me of Kenny Giles. But
you gotta do more than throw 100 miles an hour at some point.
He'll figure it out.
Someone's gonna catch up.
Someone will teach him.
He does have a slider. He had a good year last year.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna rip Kenny Giles, but he's got to figure it out.
Yo, he'll be taught.
Yeah, he's got to figure it out.
But yeah, that team is that's a team that's gonna be excited about. Speaking of winners too, just another guy that didn't lose anything from last year, Josh Donaldson. Getting right back on the horse with 4 homers already.
Yeah, and
9 ribbies. That team's hitting.
Yeah, Joey Bats. Yesterday, they lost. They did lose to the Red Sox. I think he made a pretty big error that cost him a couple runs. But we were talking earlier before we were doing this that the Red Sox don't have much depth in their starting pitching. I was hoping, maybe Rick Porcello, and he left. I guess he was throwing a curveball, sinker. He left 2 breaking balls. They should have been down. They were showing the highlight on Sports this morning, and he left them up. And Batista hadn't homered up to yesterday, and he, hit 2 bombs yesterday. So that's a team with a lot of offense.
Not much pitching, though.
Not much pitching.
The thing with that team is, too, like, talking about guys protecting other guys in the lineup, like, there's not many positions in that lineup where you could just be like, oh, we'll pitch around this guy to get to him, because almost about 1 to 6, 1 to 7, it's tough to get. I'll say like 2 to 7.
Yeah, there's nothing.
It's tough.
There can't be anything worse than you go into that lineup and you get the first 2 guys as a pitcher. The 1 and 2 to start off the game gets on base, and then you're just here it comes.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that lineup's dangerous. They lost Price, I think. Corey Dickey's still pitching for him.
He was there. He was their number 2.
Yeah, he was pitching yesterday, I believe. So
got beat up.
You got. They're gonna have to.
I just
figure something out.
I think it's the same thing with the Red Sox, because I know they just played them. Just both. Red Sox significantly weaker, I think, but
Red Sox have. I'll say the Red Sox have
Blue Jays fantastic lineup.
Yeah,
Red Sox average.
Slightly better pitching.
Yeah, slightly above.
I would pick the Blue Jays over the Red Sox. We'll get to that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think just both those teams, like, you could have as many hitters as you want, but you're not going to score 8 runs a game. You're just not going to do it.
Yeah, no.
Marco Estrada threw a shutout today. You'll get that.
Yeah, he's
Maybe
he's
2.
an ace. Maybe he's their ace, but
I'd say Stroman's their ace.
Oh.
Stroman's
yeah,
their opening day
yeah. That's what I'm thinking of.
But
That's the
Stroman,
guy I was thinking of.
Stroman and Estrada.
Yeah.
After that, Dickey is. I think Dickey sucks
Stroman,
now. That was a fluke.
Yeah, Stroman was the guy I was thinking of with Estrada.
It's hard to say Cy Young was a fluke, but like Mets look like geniuses.
Yeah, Dickey. That Malone Dickey was a great decision, and we both don't like the Mets, but Dickey's done.
He's just
the fact that he's still on the Blue Jays. That's gotta kill him a little bit with all the offensive talent they have. So they got a ton. They got the offense,
to keep him around.
To be a good
sure.
team, but losing Price.
Now,
not great for him.
I guess we'll keep our first one a rather prediction-based show.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're in the middle.
I mean, we're getting right
we're at the end of
the hockey playoffs.
We're at the end of week 1,
and we're getting just starting baseball. So
we're at the end of week 1. We're in a good prediction spot to start the show. You might even see some NBA playoffs next show.
No.
But in this show, we'll go division by division, baseball. Who will start with the American League? I'll let you go first.
So you want me to start with just who's winning the division, not who's making the playoffs?
We'll go East, West, Central, wild cards, and then we'll go through the playoff series.
All right. Well, pains me to say it, but on the AL East side, he's got the hat on. I don't see a team in the division, once Chapman comes back for off his little mishap.
Shooting spree.
Yeah. So, whatever. But they got, with Miller, Betances, Chapman, that shortens the game.
I'll just let you talk about that.
You get a quality start. Anytime you get a quality start, you're down after 6. As a team, you can't really look like, here comes Chapman, Betances, and Miller. That's, in a playoff situation, particularly, that's scary. But just, through the season, that's gonna
apply.
Yeah, they're gonna win a lot of games, and I think
just on that basis,
I think someone will kind of become the dominant closer. It might.
I think it's gonna be Chapman. I think their plan is Chapman.
Yeah, I think it.
It's hard to deny a guy that throws 103.
If he struggles, it's not a problem. Just it can shift. But I think when you got that 7, 8, 9. That's a team that's going to win the division. The reason I say that is because we were just talking. The Blue Jays, their offense is incredible.
Yeah.
But they don't have the starting pitching.
Kind of close.
The Red Sox, we were talking, I think their lineup, they got some young guys. They got some old guys that they can put together a pretty good lineup. They got David Price, but I don't like their pitching. I don't like their starting pitching collectively.
Their rotation is garbage.
I don't see it with the Red Sox.
I'll shout him out right now. We just talked about it. Bill Simmons, biggest Red Sox fan on the planet. Love Bill Simmons. He just said Red Sox are in good position if they had a second, third, fourth, and fifth pitcher.
He did say it, He's a diehard Boston guy, and he's being realistic. But that is their situation. You can only start David Price once every 5 days.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do on the other days?
If you don't hit, what happens if you don't hit?
So
today they lost 3-0.
So the Red Sox, I'm not buying. The Orioles are 5-0. They got some offense, but they're another team. I'm not sure.
Pitching.
Yeah, I'm not sure about their pitching. I would even, I would argue they might even finish better than the Red Sox, but I don't.
I think they will.
But I don't see it with them in the playoffs. They do have a ton of offense. Not a ton, but
they have offense.
Yeah,
for sure.
They definitely got a guy. Weeders, Jones, Davis, Manny Machado.
They got a good lineup for sure.
So they'll be a team that'll challenge. They'll be probably a winning record. This division every year is really fun.
Yeah.
It's just 3 or 4 better.
And you never know.
You really don't know. And the Rays. They're a team where I was listening to Bill Simmons actually, where the over on whatever, I don't know what the over, but the over on whatever prediction for wins they have preseason, the over always seems to hit. So they always do a little better than everyone thinks, even when people leave them for dead.
Yeah.
Since they, went to the World Series in 2008, they've always, been a little better than what their preseason predictions have entailed because the last few years, they've been left dead. They're not.
They're in the rebuilding process.
They're the 5th team.
Absolutely, I agree. They are the 15th.
So they're getting back to the Devil Rays status.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely,
put the Devil on the team. Take it out.
It's not going to be.
You took the Devil out of the team in 08, and
that'll always be a positive effect.
Yeah, typically taking the Devil out anything
is usually a good sign.
Yeah. So they're 5th, I think, in that division. But like I said, with the Yankees bullpen, I think that is going to be the calling card. That's the biggest strength of any team besides the Blue Jays lineup. Mm-hmm. But I think the Yankees are stronger in other areas where they will win the division this year. Probably, I would say, low 90s win total. I think the Blue Jays will be in the high 80s.
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't really matter. I think they win that division.
Yeah, I would like to agree with you. Okay. I think the Yankees
and then
are gonna easily win that division. Actually, which is, I think another thing about the Yankees is too just a lot of underrated things about their lineup. Because if you get Jacoby Ellsbury back to being the player Jacoby Ellsbury was, Brett Gardner, he puts up another all-star caliber year. What A-Rod did last year was ridiculous.
Gave a lot of.
If you get a marginal year out of him, if Tex stays healthy, and McCann could put together a good year, he's had a fantastic start. That's a deep lineup.
Yeah,
I think it's a lot deeper than people think.
Yeah, you have Teixeira, McCann, A-Rod if he can do similar to what he did last year. That gives him a little bit of juice and little pun there. Hilarious.
Gotcha.
Rob doesn't like my A-Rod hate.
Well, when you hate on the greatest player of all time, it's hard to defend it.
Barry Bonds, the greatest player of all time. But, which he also cheated. So it's funny how that works.
Whatever you think.
All right. Yeah.
I like A-Rod.
Either one of them cheated. Sure. So.
You know what even is cheated.
Yeah, they got the depth in the offense. Their lineups.
Yeah.
It's not bad. They got, they can keep up. I'm putting them right at the top. But the reason I'm putting them at the top is not because their lineup, it's because of the bullpen. Moving to the Central. The Royals are winning the Central. They're the world champ. I think just one of the... I've seen the last 2 years, just...
The disrespect of the Royals is kind of funny.
There's something, there's something to be said for just being a really, really, really fundamentally sound baseball team, and they always seem to be. Hosmer, he made an error that almost cost him the entire World Series had Alex Gordon not, tie that game up. And that was really the first time I've seen anyone, really mess up a game for them defensively. So, I just think they're a very deep lineup. They're the definition of a baseball team. They're world champs. I'm picking them. I think the Tigers will be pretty good this year.
That's my pick.
Yeah.
I got the Detroit Tigers.
I like the Tigers.
I think the Tigers are going to win the division. I think they're pitching. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue against KC. I think KC will be right there. I think that's one of those races where one of them... I have KC as my wild card, but I mean, that's going to be one of those division races where it's determining who's getting the wild card, who's going to win. I want to talk about a lineup that isn't talked about enough. That Tigers lineup is serious. You have the best player in baseball, Miguel Cabrera. I don't care what anyone says. He's just the best hitter.
Best hitter of my lifetime in terms of just when I've been a baseball fan. I probably started watching baseball.
I would say of our generation.
Just a generation of this group of baseball fans. He's the best hitter, consistently the best hitter we've seen since he was 20 years old.
He's 300 every year, 30 home runs.
He's absolutely fantastic.
Insane. But you got Ian Kinsler, Justin Upton, Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, who's strictly DHing this year. Yeah. So he's not tired like he got last year. JD Martinez, who was fantastic last year.
I like my favorite part about JD Martinez is that there is Victor Martinez, so they have to write the name. They don't write J, they write J period D period Martinez, and it goes jersey. Like a rainbow around his... Yeah,
that's a funny jersey.
I almost want to buy that jersey with no affiliation with Tigers just because how ridiculous it is to write the full name of a player on the back of a jersey when he's not from Japan.
Well, yeah. I think that's a scary lineup. I think their pitching's solid, and I think that you're going to get Justin Verlander this year.
Yeah,
I think it's been too long since you've seen his dominance.
I was, to reference ESPN again. I was watching he's lost a little bit of stuff. But they were saying Brad Ausmus mid-season last year, he didn't, but since like mid-season last year, he's been Justin Verlander. He's been outstanding.
Yeah.
Low 2 ERA in like his last 15 starts total. And they were saying like he's really embraced the kind of the veteran pitcher, like look at the scouting report, really like mentally focus, and it's really helped him. Like he's accepted that he doesn't have the stuff he had 4 or 5 years ago, but he still got pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
And as you get older, mentally you're gonna get better, and I think he's gonna have a big year.
I think so too.
I think he'll be an ace again.
I'm a huge fan of Verlander. I think he's bouncing back this year. Yeah. But yeah, that's my pick. I got the Yankees in Detroit in the Central. I know you got KC.
Okay.
To the West, I don't think we have to talk about it too much. AL West.
Who do you got? Astros?
Do you not have the Astros?
I do not have the Astros.
Wow. Is this the year?
For the last, I don't know.
Is this the
3
year?
years. Every year, everybody says, "Oh, the Angels here." This is the first year. This is the first year that nobody's saying that. Yeah. This is the Astros division this year. They still have Trout and Pujols, and I think just the clubhouse demeanor is going to be a little more pissed off than it usually is. Okay. I think they'll edge. I do have the Astros in wild card. I think the Astros are going to have a good year, but I think this is the year the Angels get over that hump a little bit and win this division finally. I don't know how far they'll go, but I like to see Trout in the playoffs.
Trout finally gets
really like to see Trout in the playoffs. I'm picking the Angels. To the wild card, I got the Astros. We just talked about both these teams, but I think the Blue Jays will edge out the Tigers by a game or two. I think that'll be a close race. Okay. But I do like a tie. I think they're both going to be teams in the high 80s this year. I think there'll be some close divisions. But I like the Astros to be the first wild card, and then it'll trickle down to the Jays and Tigers. I like the Jays. That lineup is just. You get a pitcher, at the deadline or something.
Yeah, they probably will too.
That's a tough thing about baseball.
That's what hurts me with them too. I think the loss of Price is huge.
That's a tough thing about baseball is to make predictions preseason because there's so much that happens before July 31st. Yeah. Like with roster changes, that like the teams look a lot different coming into August, and really whoever's the hot team in September seems to win. So, I
agree.
It's tough, but I got Yanks, Royals, Angels, division winner, first wild card, Astros, second wild card, Toronto Blue Jays.
All right. Yep, I agree. We're a little different for sure. I got the Yankees in the East as you do. I have Houston in the West. I just think they're too talented. I have Detroit in the Central. First wild card spot, I have KC. Getting the home game against the Angels. I agree with you. I think they're in this year. Yeah. It was either them or the Blue Jays, but I think Trout gets in this year. Yeah. I think they have solid pitching. Yeah. I think Trout needs to get in.
Yeah, he should get in eventually.
He needs to get into the playoffs.
Seems like his time.
He needs to be in the playoffs.
Player, they have out Wolves.
Yeah.
They got a real. This has to be it. It doesn't have to be by any means, but I like it this year because they're not the widespread favorite.
Yeah.
They're kind of an underdog to a team that's a lot younger.
For sure. That's not a bad division. You never know what the Mariners could do. You never know what the Rangers could do. Rangers are a good team too. Yeah. Another solid lineup, but
the A's will probably win 98 games because no one thinks they will. So whatever.
Over to National League. We'll go to your division.
All right.
You got the Phillies winning?
I do not.
Okay, good.
I do like the Phillies. Finished third.
Oh.
I think the Braves
suck.
I think the Braves are probably the worst team in baseball this year.
They have a shot to be, for sure. They're going to be in heavy competition with the Phillies.
I think the Marlins probably, if I was not a homer, it would be realistic to make the Marlins be a third. But the Marlins, they're a joke.
They always are.
They won 2 World Series and then they just blow it up, and they really haven't found it since 2003. I think the Phillies will probably win close to 70 games, being optimistic. And I think the Marlins will probably win close to 70 games, but I'm kind of just I don't know why I'm spending so much time at the bottom of this division, but I'm just saying, fuck it. The Phillies will top the Marlins by a small margin.
So that's your prediction of the analytics.
But at the top, what we really care about is the Mets and Nats. Those are the top 2 teams. The Mets are the defending league champion, kind of winner. A lot of pitching. pitching in New York. But Dusty Baker's now the manager of the Washington Nationals.
Love it.
They have the reigning MVP, your boy Bryce Harper. They still have some pitching there.
Oh yeah.
And then some. And they're just a deep team. I think they'll win close to 100 games this year.
I think they're pissed from last year.
Yeah, I think the Mets win.
New look with Dusty.
The Mets win close to what they won last year. I think they won 90 to 92 games last year. I don't remember exactly what it was. But I think they'll probably win, high 80s.
Yeah.
I don't have them in the wild card. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. But because
they can't hit.
They can't hit. And Cespedes, what he brought to them.
That was a spark. That's not what Cespedes
But that's not the full season. I don't think that's what will give them. I don't see that offense being good enough to make the playoffs. I think the pitching will,
Pitching is subpar to none.
Yeah.
The starting rotation's stupid.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to get what they did, what they produced last year this
Harvey
year.
lost today.
To the Phillies.
Yeah, Helson. Got a big
Odubel Herrera took him deep.
Yeah. Oh, double.
But yeah, I have the Nats too. Absolutely.
Okay.
I think Dusty Baker is manager of the year this year. I think he's going to get that.
It's weird because Williams done it last year. Like, he wouldn't get manager of the year. That team was just loaded. And it's kind of funny that he's just going to come and fix it all. It's such a loaded team. It's such a loaded roster, and he's such an experienced manager.
Yeah.
It's just it'd be hard for me to not pick that team to win this division.
Absolutely.
In the Central, so you're going Nats too.
Nats easily.
Yeah. Central.
I think they run away with that division.
Central's that's an interesting division because there's some great teams. But I'm going with the Cubs. Yeah, I'm gonna go chalk on this one.
I don't think the Schwarber injury hurts them enough.
No, not enough. No,
they're too good.
Yeah, like I saw it, and everyone's like, "Oh, poor Cubs," but you know what? They have so much talent.
Yeah.
So much young talent. They got Hayward.
And Arrieta 2-0 already.
Yeah,
hit his first home run today.
Johnny Lester, one of my favorite pitchers.
Yeah, now that he's off the Red Sox, so he's a gamer. I think
cancer survivor.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cubbies. I think Cubbies take that one. This is the interesting division I think that we need to talk about.
Something.
Over to the West.
I stressed over this.
The West was a tough pick for me.
Yeah.
Because the way I picked the West was whoever won this division is the only team from the West going to the playoffs.
I don't have that.
You don't have that?
Nope.
Okay. But in the West, who is your division winner?
Los Angeles Dodgers.
Ooh, all right.
They are worse than they were last year, but I think collectively, the division. I really stress. I think the Giants will give them a run. I think the Giants are going to be good this year. We've talked about the Rockies, the Trevor Story. The Rockies are a very good lineup, but just
they never get it done.
Yeah, they haven't
I want to talk about bad pitching.
Pitching. I mean, last year they went in with Kyle Kendrick. Plan A off the bat, which was one of the funnier things I saw last season. But yeah, I think the Dodgers. I think Kershaw. He'll win Cy Young this year. I think their offense. Okay. Adrian Gonzalez, I think, is still a 30 home run, 100 RBI guy. I think Puig will be better. I
think Puig's got a lot to prove. I do agree with that.
I like Puig.
I like Puig this year too.
Yeah, so they're kind of an interesting because I think they'll win like 89 games, and the Giants will win 88.
Okay. It's not a crazy prediction.
Yeah, it's difficult for me going with the wild card what I have because I don't have the Pirates in because I picked between I don't think the Mets are getting in, I don't think the Pirates going in, which is probably bold, but there's 8 good teams
deep,
in that.
It's a deep division.
So I have the Giants and I have the Cardinals, the October regulars is my wild card there.
Okay. I'll just get right into it then too. I'm gonna disagree with you in the West.
Okay.
Speaking of pitchers who rake again, Madison Bumgarner took your Cy Young winner.
He did. He took
deep.
I love Bumgarner.
Deep to left the other day, but I like San Francisco. I think you're gonna get a resurrection from Samardzija. Cueto got hit a little bit today, but Cueto's always solid. Cueto's great. Yeah. They got a deep bullpen.
They got everything.
Macias is a great closer. and just a young team that has experience.
Yeah.
And it's an even year.
It's an even year. It's their
It's
year.
an even year.
They'll probably win the World Series.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that lineup, I think that lineup's special. It's my favorite middle infield in baseball. Brandon Crawford's my favorite baseball player.
Brandon Crawford.
Besides Bryce Harper.
He's got the flow.
Bryce Harper is just on another, but Brandon Crawford is my favorite player in baseball.
All right.
But I got the Giants in the West. My wild card, I'm sticking in that Central. I think Pittsburgh and St. Louis.
Okay.
I think Pittsburgh's lineup's too good to not
Yeah,
get.
no, they have
Pittsburgh's. I understand why you don't have them, but no, because Pittsburgh's pitching is skeptical.
Yeah,
for sure.
Garrett Cole
and Liriano. That's
good pitcher, and they got Liriano. But opening day, they had David Freese hitting third.
Yeah.
They got some guys.
It was a weird lineup though. They had John Jaso leading off.
Playing first, yeah.
Just the way he set it up, it's not even like if you put those two guys 7 and 8, that lineup still would have looked stacked. It was weird how he did that.
Very analytical.
Yeah, Hurdle is
hitting McCutchen. McCutchen's second. I mean, McCutchen's a second or a
I
three hitter, but
completely disagree.
I like McCutchen on three. I think he's just your all-around best.
Your best hitter
third
hits third
at the third spot, and whether you're hitting second or third, he's going to produce.
Your best hitter hits third.
I think he should be hitting third. I mean, we'll see how it but I think Pittsburgh takes just a step down, just a little shift down over the course of the year. What they usually they won 190 games last year.
Yeah.
I think they'd probably win, like I said, I said the Giants win maybe 7 or 8. I think they'll be in that range too. I think they'll get edged. Giants, Cardinals, and Pirates, I all see being in that same range of high 80s, and I have the Cardinals and Giants as my wild cards.
Okay. So now, real quick, let's run through it. Wild card game. Who's your wild card game?
In the NL or
and AL. We'll go AL first.
I have the Astros and the Blue Jays.
Who's winning that game?
Let's go Astros.
Astros. Cool. My wild card game is KC Angels. In KC, I think.
They get it done? They get to the real playoffs? God, I hate that. I hate the playing game.
It's the worst. It's the worst. I'm a big...
It takes the whole idea of baseball.
Make it a 3-game series.
To have 162 games.
And then to decide it, and I went through the misery of it last year with the Yankees losing that game.
Yeah, put all the emphasis on a team that could potentially be 8 games better than the team they're playing.
Yeah.
And put all the emphasis on one game. It's not
crazy. It's not fair.
It's not fair to the fourth. I have no problem with
I agree.
the 14 playoff. I don't. I get the excitement. Everyone likes to make money, but
but
I don't think it justifies.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But we do have it. I think the Royals beat the Angels. I just don't think.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going Angels there.
Nah.
All right.
I gotta go KC.
Yeah,
that's too much experience.
Yeah.
All right, so now we'll go to the NL. Your NL wildcard game.
Yeah, I got the Giants, Cardinals. The NL regulars. Someone's not making it. I have the Giants winning that game.
Giants, okay. So now my NL is the Cardinals as well. Except playing the Pirates, I have the Cardinals winning that game. I think the Cardinals, hard to bet against them. Just another one of those teams.
Yeah.
I think they move on, and I think they play. They will go on to play my 1 seed in the National League, the Washington Nationals.
Okay.
I think the Nationals.
Yeah, I think they're a 100-win team this year.
Nationals get through that series.
Okay.
Easily. And I think the Giants will beat the Cubs in a 5-game series.
Okay.
And I think the Nationals will beat the Giants. I have the Nationals in the World Series in the National League.
Okay. Let me run through my Nationals.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so like I just said, I have the Giants over the Cardinals, and then so the Giants will be going to face the Nats. Well, that's the 1-4, and then you got I think the Cubs Dodgers. So I'm going Cubbies, and then I'm going to have the San Francisco Giants upsetting the Washington Nationals in the first round. A little bit in their heads, maybe. I just they got pitching.
Okay.
The Giants get in and they beat the Cardinals. If that were to happen, they got momentum. I think they would. 5 games.
That's another thing out of that wild card game.
Yeah, baseball's tough.
It's a momentum swing.
Baseball's tough. It's a lot about momentum, and it's just teams seem to find magic.
Yeah.
So I have the Giants knocking off the Nats, Cubs knocking off the Dodgers. So now we have Cubs Giants. Again, going with San Francisco Giants to beat the Cubs, break their hearts again. I still think the Cubs will get one with this generation of players, but I don't
Not this year.
Don't think it's this year.
I don't think so.
All right, so yeah, then we have Giants and Cubs. So I'm going with Giants winning the pennant. The Giants winning the pennant.
Okay.
As a wild card, so I don't win the division.
Okay.
But I like them in October when it's an even year.
Okay. AL. Well, you run through your AL real quick.
I'm going. All right, so yeah, I said the Astros would be the Jays. So I got the Astros Yankees. It's an interesting series. That's probably a scary proposition for you in the division series, but I got the Yankees winning.
Yeah.
I got the Yankees moving on there.
Okay.
Like I just said, I think in baseball, playoff baseball, you have a great bullpen. You're going to win some baseball games, you know.
Yeah.
I just generally see that. And then I have the Royals Angels. That's an intriguing series to me if that were to happen, because I think that would intimidate the Angels a little bit. But if they do get in and they get a 5-game series, I think it'll be a series. I'm going Royals in a 5-game series. I can't see because I think it would be a good series in 5 games. I think the Royals would probably get it. So you got the Royals defending world champs against the New York Yankees. I got the Yankees going.
Wow.
I have the Yankees winning the pennant.
Wow.
With that bullpen.
Okay.
So I have the Giants.
I was not expecting that.
I have the Giants Yankees. That is my bold World Series prediction.
Okay. I have Detroit as my 1 seed in the East.
Okay.
In the American League, sorry.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to get KC, Detroit. I think KC is going to win that series in 5, coming hot off the wild card game.
Right.
I think you're going to get that Yankees, Houston, same series you're getting.
Okay. Yeah,
And
Yanks.
Yanks are moving on.
Right.
I think Yanks KC is going to be an interesting series. Same AL championship as you, and the same
Heartland.
Yeah.
It's the big city.
And I have the same result.
Right.
I got my Yanks. I think it's one of those years. The bullpen
Yanks Nats will sell.
It's too good.
Can Harper beat his future team?
Yeah. That's essentially what it is.
Question.
And in my opinion, he cannot.
Okay, you got
Yanks are winning the World Series
Why the
this year.
fuck not?
Why not?
All right.
Why not? With that bullpen and that lineup,
they get there. Why can't they?
I think they're doing it. I know you might have a different result.
I do. I believe the San
You think the
Francisco
Giants
Giants will win the World Series.
All right.
Coming out as a wild card again.
Yeah.
They've reloaded the pitching a little bit. You know, you got
Okay.
Cueto's a margin, and you got Bumgarner.
Yeah.
It's
It's hard to argue.
A
Yeah.
roster that's done it before, and they get the playoffs. They have.
It's a 7-game World
confidence,
Series, either the Nationals or the Giants. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Yankees.
I think
I love their bullpen, but A-Rod. That lineup, I don't necessarily see it being like just a surefire World Championship lineup. So I'm skeptical about my pick, to be honest. But I like that bullpen a lot, and I don't hate the lineup. So I
think certain guys you need production from, and certain injuries can't happen.
Yeah.
Ellsbury can't go down
That's
for
true.
161 out of the 162 games, but like
some teams, like we said, the Cubs are more equipped to deal with injuries. Depth. I think the Yankees kind of need.
You need to stay healthy.
Core veterans of like Teixeira.
Teixeira can't get hurt this year.
Teixeira, A-Rod.
McCann's got to
Gardner and
stay healthy
Ellsbury.
again.
I think you would need those guys to stay healthy, but provided that happens, I think they have a good enough lineup, good enough starting pitching, good enough bullpen.
I agree.
To win the pennant.
I agree. I think that's.
I will say the same thing of the Giants, though. So
yeah,
that could be an interesting series.
I agree. But yeah, I'm gonna end the show
on
saying the New York Yankees will be your 2016 World Champions.
Okay.
And that.
Fair enough. That does it. That wraps it up.
That'll do it. That's gonna wrap up Statue of Liberty Bells, episode number 1.
Yeah. All right. So Statue of Liberty Bell podcast. We might make a Twitter or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll tweet about it. I don't know. I will give you guys some extra. We had one extra name. I don't know what you guys are going to think of this, but the Pizza Steak Podcast, I thought rolled off the tongue. You get the New York pizza, the Philly cheesesteak. Pizza Steak Podcast, but we didn't think it would appeal to enough people who don't have a dumb sense of humor. So we went with the Statue of Liberty Podcast.
Seemed like the most broad appeal.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys kind of like the dynamic of Philly and New York, and we're going to talk I think we're shooting, for a Friday or Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. We'll be back next Thursday,
yeah,
probably.
Thursday podcast.
Go twice a week. That's the goal.
We're going to talk some NBA.
And yeah. We'll just be back with some more fantastic opinions next time.
Some hot takes.
So, thanks for watching.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We will see you guys next time.
All right. Logging off.
See ya.